keep posting in the chat where you're from. It's always good to see that. Welcome to the Small Business Bootcamp for this Tuesday, March 14th. Happy Pi Day for you math folks. It is Pi Day. So thank you for being here on this special holiday. For those that don't know me, I'm Robert Theobald. I'm the Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services at the Arizona Commerce Authority and your host for the Small Business Bootcamp. As we like to do, we like to start with recognizing our community partners. This is just a list of our partners. It's a small list of the 100+ partners that we have with our bootcamp series. For those that don't know, the Small Business Bootcamp is designed to help small businesses prepare, plan, and grow, and it is a statewide initiative supported by all those community partners. We really could not do these without our community partners, especially today, and I'll mention that here in a bit why. But not only is it the webinar that we do every Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., it is a content library and an access to workshops that we do with our community partners. I don't have any workshops immediately coming up. We do have one scheduled in May, but more details will come soon. But let's talk about the content library. So the content library is our recording of all of our previous webinars. We record everyone, we post them in the content library, and you can access them at any time you want. So if you have a session you watched and you want to go back and review it again, you can do that. Or if you're looking for something specific, you may find it there. You can sort by those 7 different categories you see on the screen. And then also a thing we add is we do add a downloadable version of the slide deck that our presenters share. So you can also go in there afterwards, about a day after the live presentation, and download the slide deck from that presenter if you want. The ACA also has a number of other programs. We have our small business services, our workforce, and our Arizona MEP. These programs help support small businesses throughout the state in various categories. Also, for those entrepreneurs that are looking to start or expand their business, our small business checklist is a great resource to help identify the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance needs at the local, state, and federal levels. With that, I want to jump into some quick updates. We're going to post links to this information in the chat. One, get a jump on your taxes. We're in the middle of tax season, and we're going to post a link to the IRS website that has information on doing taxes for business to help make sure you can know all that you need to know. Also, the IRS has issued a warning again about the employee retention credit. It's a great program, but they are, in this warning, they are saying that there's a lot of unscrupulous service providers out there, and to be very careful, because some of those service providers, they take a portion of what you get back from the employee retention credit, and they're miscalculating it, and you're stuck with having to pay that extra difference if they do it wrong. So be very careful on that. We're going to post a link to that warning so you can see what the IRS has to say. And then also, I just found out about a company called Udacity. They do training for employees and individuals, and they have some scholarships available for nano degrees. And those nano degrees might be able to help some of your employees upskill a bit and perform more services for your business, or perform better in their job. So it's a cool little program you may want to check out for additional educational opportunities. With that, we want to jump in and look forward to upcoming sessions that we have for the boot camp. So next Tuesday, we start one of 3 of introduction or government contracting. Next week is introduction to government contracting. And then later in April, we'll have 2 more that follow up on that with different pieces of government contracting. For many business, it's a great opportunity to expand your business and grow. So we don't want you to miss out on that. Also, next Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. is our March Spanish language bootcamp webinar. So if you know Spanish speakers that would prefer to be on that, please have them attend. It is 100% in Spanish. And you can even listen to my rusty Spanish with my thick accent. Then on March 28th, we have use smog strategies to get a clearer view of your business. Really excited about this session. It's brand new. We haven't done it before. And Robin Reed is our presenter. He's awesome. So join us for that. And then on Tuesday, April 4th, know your target market. So you got a lot of great sessions coming up. Look forward to those and hope you can join us for them. So for today, we had a slight change. Our presenter for today was supposed to be Ryan Naylor from Viva HR, and he is not under the weather and couldn't present. And so on short notice, that bank of community partners that we talked about, we were able to get ask Nicole Zeno from Clever Cow Media if she could step in and cover the similar topic, and she was able to do that. And so just like your businesses out there need to be resilient to adapt to things that come at them, so do we here at the boot camp. Occasionally we have things come up, and we're excited that we have the partners and resources to help us continue providing these. So we do appreciate Nicole for stepping in today. And with that, Nicole, I'm going to turn it all over to you.
Hey, well, surprise. Good morning, and I'm going to set my screen here. So, as Robert said, I put this together very few hours. So I'm hoping I hit all your guys' topics. This topic of sales and marketing is a big one, and it's one that I think is very underrated as a topic to talk about, but it's really important because in big companies, you're talking about this being a pain point because it silos sales and marketing and makes them competitive, and that's not always the best way about it. And in small companies, is a huge pain point because it's misunderstood and it causes a lack of clarity, a lack of expectations or incorrect expectations, and includes incorrect KPIs or key performance indicators can really stop you dead. So I think it's a topic. What I will say is that I'm going to go over a lot of try to put as much value into this talk as possible, but also it's a big topic. So we're going to talk about overview sense. I'm going to go through some real life examples of how I've seen this in companies, what the buyer journey is, how that affects what we're talking about here, how it relates to sales and marketing, why you may not be seeing results, and then also how does this relate to specifically SMB companies, because it's different than corporate. And I'll leave you with some action items. But if we touch a little bit on a piece that you want to know a little bit more in depth, either I'll give you my email later at the end of this, or reach out to Robert and we can get that scheduled in. So just to start, as Robert said, I'm Nicole. I'm the CEO and founder of Clever Cow Media. I have been a startup founder for a long time now. I've exited multiple companies. I was named top 100 marketing leaders by the Marketing, Advertising, and Retail Summit twice. My company, We Choose, which was one of my first startups, was nominated for a South by Southwest Interactive Award in 2014. I have been on multiple news channels. I've spoken at Phoenix Startup Week. I had sold a med tech company. So I have a little bit of experience in this realm. And the reason I tell you this is because the reason my clients come to our companies, we think about things from the startup and small business realm. Although we have worked with large companies, when you talk about marketing, when you talk about sales, when you talk about business process, thinking of it through the lens of a small business or startup founder is very different, and it will change the way that you strategize about those pieces of your business. And just a quick little mission about Clever Cow. Our mission is to help build local economies through thriving and startup-sized companies. And we do that. I was just telling Robert that we're revamping all of our products to make sure that there is a product and a product line for every single company at their journey through growth. So startup, no budget, all the way through startup that's funded or business that's funded and needing fractional CMO work. We help through the entire journey. So I want to start a little bit on asking you guys some questions here. So in the chat, if you can add what industry in or what size company, and are you having any, have a sales or marketing team or both? So I kind of want to make sure I'm hitting all of your questions here. Let's see, anyone want to step up? All right, we'll keep that coming and I'll keep going for you guys. All right, so story time. I recently, back in 2021, sold my med tech company, a bigger company in San Francisco. They kept all of the founders on as advisors, and we're sitting in our first big meeting where the CEO and the CMO are on, and they introduce themselves, right? And the CMO, we'll call him Alex, it's not his real name, but Alex says, "Hi guys, I'm here and I'm going to be handling marketing." And then he proceeds for 2 hours to talk about product and software development. And I just sat there like laughing because our entire marketing KPIs were based off of technology. They were based off the development process. They were based off of websites and not off of the buyer or the buyer's journey or any of the things that we as marketers really look at. So even the sales team was based off of development KPIs. So it really put a strain on both departments and really made it hard for our team to see what was coming in the future and to really plan for it. And so why does that even matter, right? The reason that this matters is because the number one reason I see that people come as a marketing team, and I put that in quotes and you'll see why, is that they want more revenue, right? 9 times out of 10, I hear a company come to us and say, our number one issue is that our sales have slowed down. We want to sell more product. We need more revenue. And this kind of problematic because we're looking for marketing in the wrong place, right? We're adding KPIs to marketing that are maybe more sales, that are maybe more business development. And I will tell you that I've never been a part of a project where I'm a fractional CMO. They bring us in because they need marketing. And then we're working on product development, sales, process, biz ops, tech, goals, big picture, etc. Right? So the first piece that I really want you to understand is that marketing touches every part of the business. And of course, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a marketer and I feel that I'm gonna talk to you about it from the marketing, lens of things. But with that being said, if you think about all your pieces of your business, from the branding to the collateral that the sales team uses, marketing touches it all. And so if we're not looking at it, the whole business holistically, then we're really going to fail. And so by having the lens of we need more revenue to a marketing team when we're hiring a marketing agency or an internal marketing person, why does that kind of fail? And I really think we have to look at the buyer's journey. So as much as I don't expect every business owner to be an expert marketer or sales lead, I do expect them to understand the journey that their buyers go through in order to, from the first touch point all the way to selling and buying a product and retained and buying it again. And the reason for that is you cannot plan strategy, whether we're talking sales, marketing, biz ops, customer service. You can't plan strategy without knowing where the buyers are. So the first step buyer's cycle that we're going to talk about is awareness. So this is where the customer is aware of the problem that they have, where they first become aware of the problem they have and that they need a solution. And most people think is that this point is when people say, I'm going to go look for you. And sometimes that's possible, right? Sometimes that is absolutely the case. I am running a business. I realize that my projects are unorganized. I go to Google and I search for the best management software, right? Or I have to hire, I don't have an HR team. I go look for the best HR software, right? And so I am actively trying to find a solution. More common than not, though, is that people or that business owners assume that people are going to be aware that they have this challenge. And a lot of times, especially in startups, when we're solving new problems or small businesses where it's a product that's not in an everyday use, more often than not, your clients are not aware that they even have this problem or that they need your solution. And so this is where things around marketing do come in. A good marketing team also will make your customer aware that they have a problem and make them feel like it's a problem they need to solve today. From there, we go into consideration. So my customer knows they have a problem. They know that a solution is needed. So they start considering what are those solutions out there. And that's when they start learning about your products. They start educating themselves on what those solutions can be, and they start considering all their options. This is a really important part, and this is where education comes in heavily. And you'll see where, and in the next few slides, I'll start breaking down where marketing and sales come into this. From there, we have intent. This is when what I love to call hand raisers appear, right? They have already studied the solutions. They know they have a problem. They are now ready to buy, and they show intent towards you. So this could be filling out a form to see a demo. It could be signing up for a free trial. It could be trying a tester or travel size of a product, right? There's intent to say, I want to know if this is the right product for me. And they've raised their hand. They've told you, I am interested. These people who raise their hands, we may call them warm leads, whatever you want to call them in your business, they have said that they're interested, and they're the easiest conversion point for you. At this point, they've been educated, they've already know about you, and they know that they need your product. Lastly, we go to purchase. Obviously, this is when they purchase your item, they become your customer, they are happy with the solution you're giving, and they decide they want to try your product. And I said lastly, but we're not lastly. Lastly actually is to repurchase or renewal, right? And most people on this who own a business, who have a product, especially one that either has an upsell, a renewal, or a repurchase, knows that this could be one of the most important steps, right? It's really easy to be nice and customer service forward when you're selling, but where are you once they have your product is really important, and that'll determine whether or not they renew. Most people know this. In business, it's cheaper and easier to renew a client than to find new ones out there. And so if this funnel is not working, if your repurchase and renewal funnel is not working, or your customer service is not working, you're going to not see the KPIs you're seeing. And once again, now we're seeing another situation where marketing plays a role. Those email nurtures, those branding, those messaging points all play a role in that renewal process. All right, so you're probably glazed eyes. I can't see you, but I'm guessing you're ready to move on to where does sales and marketing go into this. And like Robert said, I jumped in here less than 24 hours ago. So some of these are graphs that I borrowed from other people because the concepts are really there. What we're talking about here are fundamental concepts. There are going to be certain steps to that buyer journey that is really unique to your product and to your sales team or marketing team. But for the most part, these are the basis of any sales journey, any marketing journey. And really understanding this, you'll see in the next few slides why it's important. So this is the traditional way we talk about marketing and sales, you've probably heard about a funnel before. You've probably heard of top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. But really breaking it down in this way is going to help you to see where marketing and sales play a role. So the top of funnel, where you're finding visitors, you're, once again, remember, you are making them aware of their problem, you're educating them on your solution, and you're making them have some intent. The awareness is at the top. And we can see that that is marketing focused. The middle of the funnel is really that consideration, right? I have some intent. I want to see a demo. I want to try out your product first. And then the bottom of the funnel is, how do we close that, right? And that is really that sales pitch, right? That's where those salesmen come in and they say, hey, what can we do to close this, right? That is that opportunity, that customer centric play. And that's the bottom of the funnel. But wait, why are we not seeing results? Nicole, you're telling me that we have a funnel, we are hitting some of these pieces or all of these pieces. Why are we not seeing results? I love this graph. It really shows, this graphic really shows exactly where we're talking about here. And I have some kind of key points that you may not be seeing results on. So first off, if you're hiring a marketing company to do marketing activities, and once again, I put that in quotes because if you look at the right side here, you see all of these activities that go into the top, middle, and bottom of funnel here. And I can point out at least one or two in each of the sections that are marketing activities or traditionally called marketing activities, such as sales collateral. Last time I've worked with sales teams, most times I've worked with sales teams, they use sales collateral all the time, and they don't know how to design sales collateral, or maybe their messaging that they're using, sales teams are using, that's really made by the marketing team. And so marketing really does hit every piece of this. But if you're hiring a marketing company or an internal marketing team to do marketing activities, such as social media, blog posts, webinars, and then looking at the top of the funnel. So we're doing, I see this all the time, small businesses who are, on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're putting videos out, they're putting out research or search engine optimization. They're spending a lot of money on top of funnel activities. And then they have no middle of funnel or no bottom of funnel, and they're not closing. They're not seeing the revenue. If you only focus on top of funnel and you hire a marketing company to hit your revenue goals, you're going to lose them before they even get through the funnel. This is if you have engagement below conversion rate. So if you're telling me, Nicole, we have lots of followers on social, they're engaging with our content we're putting out there, we're just not having sales. They're not coming to our website. They're not buying our product. This is your pain point. You're focusing on the awareness, the top of funnel. Okay, next set. If you are selling to people, so if you are always in need or feel like you're looking for leads. So I get people coming to us at Clever Cow all the time who say, we just need more leads. We need to fill the top of our funnel. But their whole team is around demos, customer testimonials. They're down at that bottom of the funnel. Yes, you're going to get sales, but to increase those sales, you need to hit the other pieces of the funnel. So maybe you're focusing way too much on bottom of the funnel. Your customers are feeling sold to, and they're not really building that trust and loyalty. So you're probably having trouble with renewals. You're probably having trouble. Your conversion rate's probably pretty low. You are, maybe not getting the quantity of leads that you want into your funnel. And we all know how a funnel works. It's all a quantities game, right? As you put more in the top, you hope your conversion rate is high enough that you dwindle them down until you get to a point where you have qualified buyers who are buying your products, right? And for anyone who has both a marketing and sales team, knows that the sales team really wants to deal on one-on-one, right? And if you are not vetting them in the middle part of the funnel, then your sales team is going to be dealing with a lot of leads, and they're going to feel like they never catch up. You're going to constantly be hiring more salespeople. And if that's you, then you're not thinking about that middle funnel piece. If you're wondering where the money's at, I'm doing a lot of work, I am not seeing the money, you're probably hitting the top or middle funnel. If you're constantly hiring salespeople, you're hitting bottom of funnel, and maybe not the middle funnel, or maybe you're hitting top of funnel and bottom funnel. This is why I love this graphic, because it really allows us to figure out where your pain points are. And when you're talking to a marketing team, and I'm going to say a marketing team because most small businesses are going to have marketing or sales, right? We kind of do a little bit of both. And there's kind of this word out there right now. Marketers love to brand things. So sorry, I'm going to just apologize to you guys initially, called smarketing. I just read this the other day and I think it's kind of dumb, but I get the concept. The concept is that marketing and sales are really a collaborative thing. And historically, in corporate America, they are competitive, right? They have different KPIs, they have different objectives, and they're really siloed into their own space. What small business and startup has really done is realize that they need to work together. There needs to be alignment in order to make it work. Because once again, as we look at this graphic, you can see that if we don't have one of these three pieces, you're not going to get the full effect of your funnel. I don't care how many emails you have automated in your email automation software, or how great of a CRM you have, or how many salespeople you have making cold calls. Your funnel is not working at 100% without a good alignment between your sales and marketing team. And then the last piece here is, I already talked about how you could see through all of these sections that marketing kind of plays a role throughout all of them. It may be a small one. It may be as small as, hey, we designed that brochure that the sales team brings in, or we branded the customer journey. But even in the product team, right? The way that the UI UX works, let's say we have an app, how does the colors fit? Do the colors work through it, right? In your customer retention, are we reaching out to them? What's the messaging we're using to reach out to them? And even in things like PR, right? If we're trying to let people know that we have a new solution in the market and we're on a news channel, how are we bringing them back to our marketing material, to our lead generation, putting them through the top of the funnel? Marketing is seen throughout this entire funnel. And so attribution plays a role. And I'm not going to get too deep into attribution because this is one of the main sticking points when we're talking about marketing and sales alignment. When you do have a marketing team and a sales team, the attribution can be the difference between them working together and them being completely siloed. And it's because marketing always feels like we were a part of that sale. We helped you get that sale. And sales teams generally feel like we made that sale, so we should get all the credit for it, right? And so really figuring out in your company, making it a culture that everyone's in this together and that everyone is kind of moving towards the same goal will really help with your alignment and ultimately help with your revenue goals. So I went a little into this already, but why does this matter? I mean, everything I'm saying here sounds like we should be working together. Maybe pieces of this just feel like, why? Why, Nicole? Why were you saying matters? Well, it matters because knowing the vocabulary, right? Knowing the vocabulary means that we are not miscommunicating and we're not misunderstanding. Marketing and sales both have a lot of acronyms, they have a lot of vocabulary words. And when you bring people in or you're working as teams and two teams are using the same word in different settings or different contexts, you're going to have a lot of miscommunication. And I know this sounds like a very basic concept, but it's one that I see over and over and over again, is that this misalignment and miscommunication only based around vocabulary. Making sure you hire the right people. It all comes down to hiring, right? We all know this. We run teams. If you hire the wrong person in the team, no matter how good you are at what you do, it's going to be hard. You're going to be fighting against that person. And so when we're hiring the right people with the right job sets and the right skills, then we're working at the most efficient way possible. We are moving towards our goals. And just to give you an example, what I mean here is that not all graphic designers actually know how to build a website, right? So when we're building a marketing team or even a sales team, not all salespeople are closers, right? We have lots of sales teams that are warming up leads, that are researching the type of company and the type of leads to make sure they're being vetted correctly, so that when they get to the main sales guy who's going to close the deal, he can actually close it, right? And so if you think about this like a baseball team, right, every position has their skill set and has their job to do during the game. And just because I'm a great pitcher doesn't mean that I should go practice my skills and become a first baseman, or that it'll be easy, right? There's just different positions for everyone, and hiring is just a very important part of that. Once you've hired the right employee, helping them understand what their responsibilities and tasks are is super important, right? And so when we're talking about sales and marketing, a lot of times that vocabulary, that misunderstanding, those pieces that meld into both categories, employees are not sure who's responsible for them. They're not sure what is the framework or context in which they're responsible for them. And so making this very clear is very important for your team. So if you have a team right now that maybe is not working at the spot where you want them, the standards you want them, it might not be the actual people. They might be very skilled. It might be the fact that there is unclear expectations, there's unclear responsibilities, or there's a miscommunication around the vocabulary and the terms that we're using. It helps keep our industry, both marketing and sales, diverse and specialized. So there are experts in very specific things throughout marketing and sales. There are a lot of different sections of both. And I think that understanding the leadership, being able to understand that, will allow you, once again, to not hire a graphic designer when you need a video editor, right? These are really important pieces, and I see them happen all the time. And then also measuring your success and understanding your needs, right? How can you know what you need in your company if you don't know what pieces are missing? And how can you measure your success if you are talking about the wrong KPIs? And I just want to point this out here. Both, if built correctly, your company can really profit off of a marketing team, both internally and externally, especially when they seamlessly work with developers, sales, and product. So although I'm telling you that sales and marketing need to be in alignment, I really do believe that the marketing team has to push that forward, because they are the ones that are part of that executive big picture vision, and they are the ones that are touching different departments in your team, whether it's product, process, sales, everything. So they really need to be part of that, moving it forward. And I really think that this is something to think about, right? So marketing is talking to the masses. It's getting it out there to as many people as they can. How can we message it? And they're setting the stage for sales. Sales does their best when they're on a one-on-one basis, right? Now, obviously, I'm not telling you that salespeople can only deal with one client at a time, but their messaging, their collateral, their way of working is a very one-to-one. And many of you who have been in this marketing realm have probably heard about ABM marketing, account-based marketing. And really, that's not really a marketing ploy, it's a sales ploy, right? That's a sales tactic that is used, which basically means that I am going to change my messaging based on the customer I am talking to. It's a one-to-one play that was really developed by marketing and was brought into sales to say, I'm going to change my messaging based on a one-to-one relationship. So if you don't believe me, all the things that I've thrown out there, here's a few stats that I think will make you wonder about bringing in alignment between your sales and marketing teams. So successfully aligning sales and marketing can generate 32% higher revenue, retain 36% more customers, and achieve 38% higher win rates. I mean, all around, that sounds wonderful. But wait, Nicole, you gave me a lot of information. How can I implement this? And there's some actionable steps, especially for SMB companies. So a lot of these sound really great. You know, I went over sales and marketing and all these different pieces and the vocabulary and the customer journey, but we're talking about small business. We're talking about mid-sized businesses. A lot of times they don't have separate sales and marketing teams, or if they do, it's a 1-person or 2-person team, or we're hiring outsourcing it to outside companies. What are some actionable steps that I can take today to implement this? So whether you have a team now or you're working through building a team, these steps will help you maybe at the most efficient sales and marketing alignment cycles that you have. So the first thing is KPIs. KPIs stand for key performance indicators. Some people call them SMART goals. There's lots of different terms for them, but really thinking about KPIs in 2 ways. One, setting different KPIs for the different teams. So one of the mistakes I see is that I come into a company, they have an overall KPI for every team, and it's really hard to measure how that team is really hitting their KPI. So setting KPIs that are specific to each team. So if it's marketing, maybe the KPI is around engagement, leads in the funnel, lead generation. If it's sales, maybe the KPI is around close rate or retention of customers. But then also making sure we do have a KPI that's common to both teams, right? Making sure they're working as a team towards a common goal. Once again, we see that in corporate, especially, marketing and sales gets siloed on its own with different KPIs, and they're working against each other to get their own KPIs. Because let's face it, I want my bonus, right? I want to hit my KPIs, and those KPIs could be contradictory to each other. And you just saw the funnel. You can't work one without the other. And so if you have contradictory KPIs that are competing against each other, your teams are not going to be aligned. From there, give marketing more time and visibility. So whoever your marketing leader is, whether it's an outside company, it's an internal director, whoever that person is, they need time and visibility into what's happening. And my biggest reason for this is, for instance, if a company is debating on exiting in 2 years versus making this a 10-year run, those are 2 different marketing strategies. And that's going to change the way your sales cycle happens. That's going to change the way your sales team works. And so that marketing strategy is really important and your marketing leader it's really important that they know you're going for an exit, right? Or you're not going for an exit, and we want to be we want to acquire more companies, and we want to be the experts in this realm. That's a completely different play. I think that one thing that I did not put on here is that you have to figure out if you are a marketing first organization or if you're a sales first organization. And I don't think that changes the things that we're talking about here on these actionable items, because I still believe that even if you're a sales first organization, marketing plays a role in every piece of your business and your business growth. They should be at an executive level, and they should be part of these executive conversations. But with that being said, where the percentage of your budget goes depends on if you're a marketing first or a sales first organization. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you are a company where people are going to find you mainly because they don't realize they have the awareness step is that they don't realize they need your product, you're probably a marketing first company. If there's a lot of education that has to happen, or there's not a one-on-one sale, right? So you're an e-commerce company. We're not going to fill our team with lots of sales representatives because a B2C e-commerce company is not going to touch point one-to-one with every customer. We're talking quantity. If you're talking quantity, you're probably a marketing centric company. If we're talking, let's say we're selling a product that's $15,000 and you are really talking on a one-to-one basis with a very specific buyer, then we're probably going to be a sales centric company. And when you're talking about that, that means that we're going to have more salespeople that are going to be closing deals. That means that the customers have to go through the funnel and that the salespeople have to touch those customers. We're going to do a lot more vetting. We're going to do a lot more one-on-one. We're going to do a lot more ABM. And it doesn't mean that we don't need a marketing person, but maybe we only need one marketing person, or we only need a small team versus needing a large team of sales representatives. But once again, that visibility needs to be there because marketing is still going to drive that vision forward. Alignment, we've talked a lot about alignment. If sales and marketing are pit against each other, they will work against each other and it's just not going to work. I've worked in very big Fortune 100 and 500 companies. And when their alignment is off, their numbers are not there. You need to have alignment, and it's very hard to build that alignment once the teams are already pitted against each other. So what I would say is, as a small business, as you're growing, as you're going through the steps of hiring new sales and marketing teams, whether they're internal or external, build the culture now of alignment, of teamwork, of similar and different KPIs so that you are there for the future, because it'll happen really quickly and it'll be really hard to once again align them. Unify the technology and customer journey. And this is a crazy one. You would not expect it, but almost every company I've been into that has sales and marketing, even if it's just one person on each side, generally I would bet, if I was a betting woman, I'm not, but if I was a betting woman, I would bet that going into a new customer, most times their technology, they're using two different systems, they're using two different processes, they are working very siloed, and unifying that technology, that customer journey, how feedback loops are made, unifying all of that together will not only make your company a little more streamlined and more efficient, but it's going to help unify the two teams because they have to work together, right? If marketing has all these assets that they're putting out, but the sales team has no clue or doesn't have access to those assets, then what's the point, right? They're not going to use them. And then your marketing team's working all this hard work for nothing, right? Same thing with sales. If sales is the one who's touching your customers, who's talking to them on a daily basis, they know your customers. They know the messaging they want to hear and their pain points better than anyone else. Why, if they can't get those over to marketing, how can marketing build assets that are going to relate to that customer and to relate to that pain point? And then also leadership, even unifying. So when you have two leaders, of one leader for the marketing team, generally the CMO or the director of marketing, and you have the VP of sales or the director of sales, who are not unified and not aligned, or don't have a direct kind of responsibility ladder here, what's going to happen is they're going to have different priorities and different timelines, and that's going to split them once again. Like we talked about with the KPIs, they may even have contradictory priorities. And so marketing is going to be pushing one thing forward, sales is going to be pushing another thing forward, and neither one of them are going to hit that full funnel. And once again, what's the goal? We're trying to hit the full funnel. That's going to be your number one piece of success. And so without that alignment, you're not going to hit that full funnel. Two other really important ones, and then I will ask questions here, but one is common core values. Most companies think that core values are, haha, it's something we put on our wall. It's not something that's really driving revenue or pieces forward. But I truly believe that having core values that the company has worked on together, that we really hold each other accountable for, and we use in not just our hiring, but also in our feedback loops, and if it gets to the point of firing, in all aspects of those pieces. If you use those core values, you make them very clear, you make them very communicated, you make them very it's just out there for everyone to understand and to know that that is where we're holding our values to. There is no question and there's no miscommunication. And then the last one is data. And I think this might be one of the most important ones. So data is super important because sales teams generally use data to do all their KPIs, right? This is one of the major differences. And it's also one of the major gripes that sales teams have with marketing teams. Marketing likes to shy away from data, and they like to make kind of fluffy KPIs because of the fact that they do all of those things that you saw that sometimes are not directly related to sales, but they help the sales cycle, right? Data will really help solve the attribution issue. It'll help solve some of the alignment issues, but the main thing it'll help solve is the I believes or the I thinks, right? Sales and marketing are going to be viewing your company through two different lenses, and they're going to have two different opinions. If you've ever been in a fight with your best friend or your partner or your cousin or your family, you know that everyone has a different sides of the story. The one thing that's going to unify sales and marketing, if you think of them as brother and sister, is that data. I once had a client who had 5 co-founders. And when I went in there and I asked them, what is the reason that people come to your shop? Every one of them had a different reason. And they were very set in their place that their reason was the right reason. So what we did is they had a major sale. We had everyone lined up. There was hundreds of people lined up outside of their shop. I literally went around with a piece of paper that had 5 multiple choice questions, including, why did you come pick this shop? We had 450 people fill it out. And it allowed us to say, okay, here's the real reason. Here's number 2. And you wouldn't believe how quickly everyone aligned after that. So data is going to be your number 1 key to aligning both sales and marketing. And then it also allows you to see where the issues in your funnel are. So if you have no visibility into your data and you're saying, hey, oh man, this happens all the time. Oh man, I'm not getting sales. We need more marketing. Well, when I actually look at their funnel and I put data to each part of their funnel and I see that, well, no, you're having plenty of leads come in. You're losing them here in your funnel. You're losing them at the middle part of your funnel. We fix that, or we tweak that middle part, and now all of a sudden sales are coming. They could be spending years putting money into top of funnel that never fixes the problem and never converts to sales. So data is going to be your number 1 key thing. Anything you can get visibility into, get that visibility. Basically what I'm saying, any way you look at it, marketing and sales, I know that this is a key topic because we want to say one or the other, and I know that I kind of complicated this topic a little bit. Any way you look at it, marketing, sales, when they come together, when they align, that is when you're going to get the best success. And as a small business, this may not be as hard to align because you are one team, but making sure that it's clear and that there's no miscommunication between team members as to what the responsibilities are, what the KPIs, this, even with a team of 3 people who are doing both marketing and sales, having KPIs that are marketing focused and sales focused will allow them to understand where their efforts have to be, where their alignment has to be, and what places we're missing on or we're not hitting in order to hit the most efficient funnel possible. So let's get moving. In case you haven't noticed, there's a cow theme going on. Any questions?
All right, let's post up those questions in the Q&A. We do have one
Okay.
from Jim
Ready.
Harrison, who says, isn't sales an internal customer to marketing?
Love that question. Yes. So that is a great question. And I think that's a great way to put it, actually. I might steal that or borrow it a little bit. So sales is an internal customer to marketing. And that's kind of the point I was trying to get to, which is marketing has to be on an executive level. It has to know what's going on. Most sales teams cannot do their job without marketing, because in case I'm not going to try to offend anyone here, but I've worked with a lot of sales teams and a lot of salespeople. Most of them cannot put together that marketing material, or they're really good at messaging and working with relationships, but putting it out there on a slide or slide deck that keeps the branding going, it's always a mess, right? So sales can't do their job without marketing. Marketing can't fully hit all of their KPIs, especially revenue-based, without sales. But there are marketing teams that can still do their job without the sales team, right? So once again, marketing, there's a lot of internal customers to marketing. They have to be at a top level. And then sales, product dev, UI, UX, development, all of those places are internal customers to marketing. So yes, you are absolutely correct.
Got another question. This is from me though, but I think it'll affect or talk to a number of people on this webinar. Let's say I'm a very small business. I'm me, myself, and I. Those are the 3 employees. How do I work both to get to that middle over section? Because I have to do it all. So I'm also the accountant, the sales specialist, the marketing specialist. Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is where small business is different, right? And so I think that comes in the planning phase. I did do a talk for the Small Business Bootcamp a little while ago about marketing strategy and marketing plans. And I think that we think when we say marketing plans, we talk about it and we're thinking it's social media and email and whatnot. But really, I think it should be a sales and marketing plan, right? Like my first question that I always ask my clients is, what does success look like? If in a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, you get everything you want, what does that look like in the company? And then we build 3 KPIs that are going to hit towards that. So as you could see in that funnel piece, there are a lot. This is not even a quarter of the activities that you could do in sales and marketing. There are a lot, and it can get overwhelming. And if you try to do them all, you're not going to do any of them great, right? So what we always do is we keep our clients to about 3 KPIs, 3 very data-driven KPIs. What does success look like? How can we measure it? And then we go through these pieces of the funnel and make sure we're hitting 1 or 2 from each level. And if something pops up, let's say there's a trend going on and I need to be doing XYZ, we can really step back and say, does that get us closer to our KPI? Does that get us closer to success? And in which part of the funnel does that hit? Do we have too much going on in that? So I would say it's a juggling act, but this is where strategy comes in. And I think as a small business, what I hear all the time is that we're a small business. We don't need process. We don't need strategy. It's just me. But realistically, you need that strategy. You need to be thinking about it the same way a corporate organization would, in 6-month, 12-month increments, and really putting into place the set things. And then one more piece that I'll add to that, Robert, is that a lot of times the founders keep it in their head. Oh, I know the KPIs are in my head. I know where we're going. Write it down. If you write it down, it's less likely to change over time. And you can kind of come back to it and say, okay, if I'm doing these blog posts, are they giving us impact? Do we have enough going on in top of funnel? Are they getting us closer to our KPIs?
Yeah, a little side note to that, Nicole, about writing it down is, for all those, just get a small dry erase board from the local big box store, stick it on your wall and write them right there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that writing it down is the key thing. And I think as small companies, we like to keep it internal, but everyone needs to know where they're going. And so often when I come into a company as a fractional CMO, they try to keep me at arm's length because I'm an outside contractor. And it isn't until they let me in to those executive conversations, to those planning meetings, that we see an insane amount of increase in efficiency, in profit, and all the things that marketing is trying to do on a day-to-day basis.
Excellent. Well, we are right close to time to also wrap up. I posted in the chat Nicole's previous presentation, so you can go back and do that. It's called How to Create a Marketing Strategy to Skyrocket Business Growth. So that link again is in the chat. That'll take you right to the recording and her materials. So we appreciate having that available in our content library.
And
And
my
Nicole,
email's there. My email's there. Feel free to email me, but also our Instagram, we are putting together, I was just telling Robert, we're putting together free level and DIY level products, as well as do it for you products where a marketer actually helps you through that DIY process, through the processes that we've learned and the experience we have had over years and years working with companies, especially SMB. We're going to be launching them here very shortly, hopefully April 1st. So if you want to be involved in that, we'll be posting everything on our Instagram.
very good. Thank you. And again, Nicole's contact information is right there. So thank you for sharing that. And we want to, again, a huge thank you to Nicole for stepping in today. That was an amazing presentation for having less than 24 hours to say yes, put it together, and be here with us. So thank you very much. We appreciate your knowledge, your expertise, and your willingness to be part of the boot camp.
Of course, in time.
So thank you again, all of you attending. Thank you for joining us today. We hope to see you next week. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. So everybody have a great rest of your week. And again, we'll see you on next Tuesday. Thank you.
Thanks.